People were not leaving this call whatsoever. They refused to leave. They said, I am not leaving. I locked myself in my office. I need to hear this information. So take it away,
It's an
Nate.
honor. It's an honor. So my apologies, guys, but here we go. Market makers trend, red light, green light. So real quick backstory on both of these softwares. Strategy 9 was created for Arrow, and it was very difficult for some to catch on. Strategy 9, for those that don't know, is the market makers strategy. For those who do not know, market makers are the algorithms and actual individual human beings that actually create the price for every asset we trade: stocks, Forex, crypto, gold. They create the price for you to buy and sell at. So if they create price higher, price moves higher. If they create price lower, price moves lower. So the goal is, how do you know in what direction they're going? Because if you know in what direction they're going, then you will be more successful long-term than you are without knowing their direction. And so that's what Strategy 9 was built to do. Some could catch on to it, some couldn't. So my goal was, well, how do I make a software that can emulate as close as possible that actual trend? And that's where Market Makers Trend came from. And then Red Light, Green Light was born from that. It's a second attempt at that same trend, but on a shorter scale. So Market Makers Trend is more long-term trend for the market makers, and Red Light, Green Light is more short-term, because everyone knows that even though the market may trend down, it goes up and down, but overall it's trending down, and vice versa if the overall trend is up. So that is what these softwares are attempting to do, is to emulate the actual market makers trend. So as we talked about the agenda, we got the soft launch group, the launch sequence, the risk management, market makers trend, red light, green light, and then a bonus. So we'll jump into the soft launch group. As Tyler alluded to earlier, there's a lot of thought, a lot of planning, a lot of testing that goes into softwares. And then, of course, you are dependent on technology. And as we have partnered with one of the, actually the best technological company in the network marketing space, especially when it comes to the foreign exchange or trading markets, we have to ensure that everything is working properly. So Market Makers Trend is going through the soft launch group just to make sure that everything works properly with the VPSs. Everything works properly for those who are in the United States, the MAV. So, actually be able to accept trades through the Go app. Just making sure that everything is properly working before it gets in your hands, so that you can you can ensure that your capital is protected. So the soft launch group is a group of novice to experienced expert advisor users. They have utilized, some of these individuals have utilized every software in the actual on the platform, and some have utilized only one or none. The difference between them and the beta test group is the beta test group is they're typically long term. You're talking about 2-3 months, sometimes 6 months for a beta test group. Whereas with the soft launch group, it's more or less just testing out the basics of the technology and infrastructure that will connect to the users. And so it's only going to be a 2-week testing period, and they will just test out the EAs and all major updates before public use. So imagine that there's a strategy. We make a significant change to the strategy. Everything looks good to go. That strategy is then launched to you guys, because the automated software may be in a, you may already be in trades. But what happens if those trades close out and we didn't thoroughly test it out? Then all of a sudden your trades that may be in the negative have closed out. And depending on your account size, you may lose some significant sums or whatever the case may be. So the goal is to put everything through the launch, soft launch group, to make sure that everything is working as it should with the technology that we're utilizing, to ensure that once it's pushed live to you guys, your capital is protected. So I will take extra precautions when it comes to this. That's why everything is going to go through the soft launch group, because again, it's all about the preservation and protection of your capital. All right. So Market Makers Trend is in that soft launch group as of right now. All right. So launch sequence. This is tentative, but Market Maker Trend, it is the big brother. It is the first. It's launching first. The soft launch group has already started. We'll go for a 2-week trial, and then we're looking for the May 9th available to the public. And again, that's tentative It could be pushed back if we find that something drastically is wrong. Something, trades aren't happening. The VPS is blocking trades. But again, these things have already been tested out, so I don't foresee any of that because there are already other expert advisors with the Void Prime that are already showing, having the results, the positive results, that we know them to have. And so this is the tentative date for Market Maker. Again, it's all about preserving and protecting your capital. All right. Next will be red light, green light. Soft launch group will start immediately with the week of the Market Maker trend launch to the public, and it will go for 2 weeks, and then it will look to have a tentative launch date of May the 23rd. All right. Again, 2 products going out at once. So all about staging the products to ensure that there is a good launch. All right. We want to have a great launch. We don't want to have a launch that, goes well, and then within the first couple of hours, first day or two, now all of a sudden people are having issues. We want to make sure that there are no issues for you guys, especially when your money is at stake and it's being traded out of your control, because that's what the automated softwares are doing. All right. They are making the trades and the decisions for you. So again, it's all about preservation and protection of your capital. So hopefully everyone understands this and is agreement. If you are, blow up the chat with some 777s, because again, it's not about getting a product out to you as fast as possible. It's about making sure that the product and everything that goes around the product is working as it should, so that you can feel satisfied with what you're paying for. All right. So that is a lot sequence there. If anything happens, we will update. We'll update you guys if anything gets pushed back. Again, I don't foresee that just due to the fact that we already have products in the expert advisor categories that are actually rolled out already and have been out in the marketplace for months to over a year. All right. So let's get into the meat of the bones. So risk management, as you guys know, if anybody that doesn't know me, when you get on my calls, you go through any of my trainings, or you talk to me in general, I speak a lot about risk management in ways that you may not know about. I may say certain things, but it's all with the thought process of risk management in mind. Why is risk management in mind? All right, because if you guys don't know, you actually can be a F trader. You could be a 50% trader, get only half your trades right, and still be in profit, as long as you have proper risk reward or proper risk management strategies in place. So some of the risk management strategies that are utilized in both softwares, both Market Makers Trend and Red Light, Green Light, include the following. Number one, multiple strategies. All right. There is no one strategy that works perfectly on every asset, on every Forex pair, on every stock. They all move differently based on a number of different situations. All right. A stock may have news that other stocks don't have, even though the stock market may be up, and say, but that particular stock is down because it had negative news that came out. If everybody, recalled a couple months ago, Facebook or Metaverse had some negative news come out, and it dropped over 40% over the course of a couple of days. All right. However, the market was trending up. The overall NASDAQ, which the Metaverse is part of, was trending in a upward momentum. All right. How do you account for that? If your strategy is buying with the rest, you're taking a loss on that strategy. So having a different strategy for every asset is a part of risk management. Finding the best strategy for that specific pair, not just a good strategy for all pairs, but finding the best strategy for each individual asset you are trading. All right. Next is risk to reward. So what does that mean? Risk to reward is, for example, if I am in a trade on US 30 and I'm risking 200 pips, but my take profit is 1,000 pips, I have a 1 to 5 risk to reward. I'm risking 200 pips to gain 1,000. 1,000 divided by 200 is 5. So I have a 1 to 5 risk to reward. Every strategy we have has a positive or equal risk to reward, meaning that it's 1 to 1 or higher. So that means that if you only win 50% of your trades and you have a risk to reward of 1 to 1.5, all right, that means that you could lose 5 trades, win 5 trades, and yet you will still be in profit. All right. How does those numbers work? I'll give you an example. If your stop loss is 20 pips, your take profit is 30 pips, 5 trades hit stop loss, that's 100 pips negative. 5 trades hit, take profit, that's 150 pips positive. You are positive 50 pips. All right. That is how risk to reward works. And if the more successful you are, the more accurate your strategy is, then the better results you have. All right. Next is portfolio style management. All right. This will come in handy, and I'll be teaching and training a whole lot about this. But imagine your 401k. If you are young, typically your 401k has more money exposed to equities, stocks and things of that nature, and ETFs, and it has less money or of your percentage of your money in bonds or yields, because those are slow movers. They have gains, steady gains, but they're very small gains, whereas the stocks give you bigger gains over time. All right. But as you get older, your money shifts because you typically have more of it. And now you're trying to preserve your capital, and you have more of your money in the bonds and less in the equities, because you want less of your money at risk or at high risk, because now you're at an older age and you may not have the time left in your life here on earth for a pullback, and then for wait for price to recover. All right. So we will talk a lot about portfolio style management for you to really understand, one, how a portfolio works, how to manage one based on, number one, the amount of capital that you have available, and number two, your risk. You may not be a risky individual, so you may want to actually have conservative or moderate risk. All right. And then those of you who are trying to hit home runs every day, I know a lot of you guys out there, I'm one of them, then you may want to have more of a riskier style. And we'll be able to manage these portfolios from the stance of market makers trend will run on 2 different assets, then red light, green light will run on 2 additional different assets. So you'll have 4 different assets that you will be able to build a portfolio around. So it'll be pretty cool to see how it works out. All right. Next is quarterly optimization. So again, this ties back into multiple strategies. All right. The market is changing extremely fast. A lot of the testing I've been doing has been doing, testing short term, long term, even longer than that, anywhere from 3 months to 5 years. And we've seen certain strategies that have worked well for the last 3, 6, 9, 12 months that 3 years ago were negative. They weren't profitable. And so with that, we are now with both market makers trend and red light, green light, I will be optimizing the softwares to ensure it has the most up-to-date strategy, best strategy for that specific asset, to ensure that the software stays fresh. All right. You won't have to worry about it. All right. All you have to do is reboot your software to ensure reboot your VPS to ensure you get the newest file. All right. This will always be pushed out on the weekends when the market is closed. That way you have the opportunity to close any trades out. Make sure you've closed all your trades out if you can, and then to update your software to make sure you have the newest version so that you can then run the newest optimized version. All right. So every quarter, every 3 months, we will have a new optimized version of the software coming out to ensure that you guys have the best of the best. Someone asked me on the New York session call today, Nate, if everybody's trading the same strategy on the same broker, won't the broker catch on? Well, it's like trying to hit a moving, if you're a pitcher and you're throwing the ball at someone with a bat and you're playing baseball, it's very difficult if you're trying to hit a small baseball that's moving at 100 miles per hour. That's kind of what optimization, to kind of give you an idea of what it means, is we're always going to be re-optimizing and changing the strategy to keep it fresh. All right. I talked about it today. If you ever watch football, Barry Sanders is probably the greatest running back ever. Could he be tackled? Yes. Was it easy to tackle him? No. He can make you go right when he's going left. He can make you go left when he's going right. He can make you stop, and he can run over you. All right. All in how he moved. And so we will move in a way to ensure that you have the most up-to-date optimized settings to ensure long-term success. All right. Outside of that, there's going to be additional risk management settings. One of those settings is no hedging. So there's a non-hedging feature. So for example, there was a trade today that happened. The trade was up in profit. It reversed. The trend changed. Another entry for a sale popped up. And instead of hedging, it closed out the buy trade in a small loss. And then the sell trade, which happened to be the real trend, hit take profit, and that trade, those two trades, one was a winner, one was a loser, but the winner was almost 4x bigger than the loser. Therefore, over 1% was made on that account in a matter of 30 minutes on two different trades. So is the software right? Sometimes it gets it right. If it hits take profit, sometimes it gets it wrong. And if it gets it wrong, it cuts its losses quickly. All right. Opens a new trade in the correct direction and will play out as such did. All right. One hit take profit, one closed out in a small loss. The result was a 50% win, all right, a 50% win rate. All right. One win, one loss. But that account had a 1% gain all in a matter of two trades, 30 minutes using proper risk management. All right. So things of that nature are put onto there. Another thing with additional risk management is the software, is optimized for each individual asset, and each individual asset, there's opportunity for you to have 1 entry, 2 entries, 3 entries, 4 entries on a certain trade. But guess what? We've optimized each asset so it will have the most profitable entries. You won't have 80 entries on one pair. You may have 1 because that might be the best optimized setting, or that might be the setting you select, because you'll be able to select from an entry standpoint, you'll be able to select how many entries you want. Do you want a single entry or do you want progressive entries? Meaning that, do you want more than 1? And the software will allow what's the best optimized. If this pair only allows 2, and that's the most it's allowed, and that's the optimized setting shows that is the best results, then 2 is what all you'll get. If 4 is the best, 4 is what you get. So it's optimized to ensure that you have the best experience overall, all in the background. I assure you the settings are simple. There's only a total of 5 settings that you will have to actually utilize and actually understand what they mean, which they're all point blank simple. And then lastly is reduce control of certain settings. Reason why, again, you won't see 20, 30, 40, 50 different options. All right. It's not about confusing you. All right. This is why it's taking a little longer to launch. It's because it's all about finding the best optimized settings to ensure that you have to do as little work as possible. All right. Let the software and the numbers speak itself. Data does not lie. Running the system through permutations and other statistical analysis tools allowed us to find the proper settings for you. And so now you let it run as you see fit. All right. So that is risk management. It's all about protecting your capital for the long haul. So again, everything is about you and your capital. How do we protect it? First, how do we grow it? Second. All right. So let's talk about how we grow it. Market Maker's Trend. Again, I talked about what Market Maker's Trend's job is. As you can see here in this picture, its goal is to find the peaks where price is going to turn around, whether it be a peak high or a peak low. All right. What will Market Maker's Trend trade? All right. Again, as I told you guys, if you follow my Instagram or been on my calls, neither of these softwares will be trading Forex pairs. All right. Market Maker's Trend will run on stocks and indices. Stocks and indices. Now, stocks were selected by me specifically because the stock market is the most heavily regulated market we have. Therefore, there's less manipulation with stocks than there are with, let's say, Forex pairs or gold, things of that nature. All right. And because there is less manipulation, all right, it makes it easier, it's smoother for you to catch trades. All right. And you will see in some of these results exactly what I mean by that. So right now we're going to start off with these 6 stocks. All right. Apple, FedEx, Cisco, Citigroup, Boeing, and Amazon. Some of these you've heard of, some of these you may not have heard of. These are all US stocks. All right. And we'll continue to add as we go. And then indices. If we're going to trade stocks, we might as well trade indices, because guess what? Those stocks, accumulation of stocks, is an index. That's all an index is a accumulation of stocks. The S&P 500 is a accumulation of 500 stocks. NASDAQ 100, 100 stocks. US 30, 30 stocks. DAX is now 40 stocks. That's all it is accumulation of individual stocks. All right. So stocks and indices. So let's go through some of the results that we've seen with said stocks. As you can see here with Apple, all these results you will see were for a 3-month time span, the first 3 months of this year, of 2022. All right. We took the first 3 months, optimized the best settings for the last 3 months, and then we ran those settings until we broke them. And most of these settings lasted for the last year to year and a half before they were no longer profitable. So we knew we were in the right ballparks. All right, we got the best, most profitable settings now, and we will continue to re-optimize. All right. This strategy we used is a strategy that was used for other softwares that are on the marketplace, that the software, the results that they were getting with this software, this backtesting software, are very similar to the live results that that software is getting. So it's all about ensuring that we test things in a manner to where we will be able to see similar results, within a certain degree of variance in real life. All right. So with Apple stock, we put it $100 account. These are, again, the stocks are less volatile. So you will be able to actually be able to trade the stocks, most of them, with a $100 account. All right. So Apple, $100 account, 3 months. It made $122.85 profit in 3 months. That's 122.85% growth. All right. Absolute drawdown. We'll talk about the drawdown and some of this information here real quick, so you understand what you're seeing here. Absolute drawdown is the max amount of money that you were below your initial balance. So if your initial balance was $100, how far below your initial balance did you go, with this software for the last 3 months, or the first 3 months of the year? And with Apple, you were only negative $2.02. That's it. Your initial capital has, for the most part, been in the positive had you been running for the last 3 months, all right, or the first 3 months of the year. And then, of course, you have maximal drawdown. Maximum drawdown is the largest amount of drawdown you've had with the software at any time, all right, of course, above your initial balance. And so the max amount of drawdown you had was 14%, or $19.92 total drawdown. All right. I think that's phenomenal. I don't know about you guys. And this software had it's got a win rate of 72%. All right. So now that you guys understand some of the lingo there, all right, we'll go through the rest of them really quickly here. FedEx, $100 account, growth in 3 months, $126.74. That's 126% growth. Absolute drawdown, $7.84. That's like 7.8%. Max drawdown, $22.95, or 9.82%. It had a 73% win rate. Cisco, $100 account. It grew in the first 3 months, $112.11. That's 112%. Absolute drawdown was $2.16. That's 2%. Max drawdown, a little heavy for Cisco, was $39.51, or 27.79%. All right. Citigroup, $100 account, had $91.57 growth in the first 3 months. That's 91.57%. All right. Absolute drawdown, 44 cents. All right. Max drawdown, 15%, or $21.93. All right. Boeing, $100 account. Growth. It grew in the first 3 months of the year, $231.63, or that equates to 231.63%. Absolute drawdown, $18.17. And max drawdown, $49.03, or 14.9%. And it had a 67.5% win rate. And then the last stock was Amazon. Amazon, again, is a more pricier stock as of right now. They did go through a split. So once they officially split, this may change. But right now, you have to start off with at least a $200 account. I prefer you start off with 5. Actually, I'm sorry, the settings are set. The Amazon will be set up to where you have to have a $500 account or higher. It's going to be treated like the indexes, just because of how expensive it is to buy and the amount of margin that it requires. All right. On a $200 account, it had growth in the first 3 months of $162. That's 81% growth. Absolute drawdown, 71 cents. Max drawdown, $13.72, or 3.84%. And it had a win rate of 76.92%. All right. Those are the stocks. All right. Very low absolute drawdown, manageable max drawdown. And again, this is just based off of the actual lot size ratio. For a $100 account, we use a 0.01 lot size. All right. You may say, hey, I want to use a 0.01 lot size for every $200 instead of for every 100, which means that will, lessen potential profit, but also lessen the exposure you have in the market in drawdown. All right. Now, I know you guys are looking forward to the indices, so let's go ahead and jump to it. So we'll talk about S&P 500 and NAS first. All right. S&P 500 had a $500 account. It made $465.95 in the first 3 months. That is over 83%. Absolute drawdown was only $71. Max drawdown was $84.54 or 16.46%. And it had a 59.31 win rate. So even at a 59 win rate, so its win rate, it only won 59% of its trades and it still made over 80%. All right. It's all about risk to reward, guys. Risk to reward, meaning your stop loss is lower than your take profit. All right. And you have a strategy that hits at least 50% of the time. And you are, numbers don't lie, you'll be profitable. NAS 100. Some of you guys love NAS. $100 account. In the first 3 months, it grew $134. That's 134% growth. Absolute drawdown, $1.69. Max drawdown, $35.42 or 17%. I think that's phenomenal. 17%, 16% for S&P 500 on indices. Come on, guys. 71.74% win rate. All right. 71.74% win rate. And of course, next up are what I like to call the dirty 30s, DAX, GER 30, and US 30. So these, you have to have significantly more money in the account just because of how they trade. DAX, we did put on a $1,000 account. We're testing the limits, but again, you're gonna have to have more. And again, it will be set up already for you in the account. So depending on your account size, when you set the software up, I will let you know exactly what that looks like in the setup video, so you know what account size you'll need to trade each asset. But with DAX, $1,000 account in the first 3 months of the year, that account grew $6,994.37. That's 699% growth. Absolute drawdown was $181. Max drawdown was $602 or 11.8%. It only had a 54.55% win rate. That's it. I can tell you guys right now, that's the trade I told you about today. That's the trade that closed out with a small loss, and the trade that hit TP, that was a DAX trade. All right. I have a 50% win rate right now, and that account that it's trading on is up 1%. So these numbers are showing to be true in live conditions. Right now, DAX for the week has 3 wins and 1 loss for the week as of right now, starting since Sunday. So that's I think the TP on DAX is 740 pips and the stop loss is 470 pips. That's a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 1.5. 1 to 1.5 right there. All right. So right now, 3 wins at 740 is over 2,200 pips. 1 loss at 470. And actually that loss only closed out at less than, it didn't even hit stop loss. It just closed out because of the non-hedging feature. So you're up over 2,000 pips right now. DAX is up over 2,000 pips on 4 trades as of Sunday market open. So I don't know about you guys, but that's phenomenal for me on any indice. All right, US 30, $100 account. In the first 3 months of the year, it grew $792.50. That's 792% growth. Absolute drawdown, $10.60. Max drawdown, $105.70 or 11.68%. Give it up for the dirty 30s. They perform very well. All right. So that is the end of Market Maker's Trend. It's going to be a lot of fun. This will be the first one that launches. Look out for more results to be given out. We will share with you how we're going to let you guys keep track of how everything is going during the launch phase. Somebody talking? Somebody ready to say something? Nope. All right. So let's move on real quickly. We'll try to get through this here. Red light, green light. Again, another attempt at the scalping version of the Market Maker's Trend. All right. Red light, green light will be trading, you guessed it, gold and oil. For those of you guys who have already been following red light, green light, those who have been winning on a consistent basis have been killing it with gold. They found the settings. They've been seeing my Instagram and say, oh, Nate knows how to trade gold with red light, green light. Let me try to figure it out. And then, of course, oil trades very similar. All right. Just going to talk about gold. But here are some results for the first 3 months of the year on a $3,000 account for gold. That account grew by $5,773. That's 191% growth in 3 months. Absolute drawdown was $309.71, so 10%. Max drawdown was $1,831.36, or 21%. And for me, 21% drawdown on gold is very manageable. And again, you can always adjust your risk to reward ratio. I'm sorry, your lot size ratio to have a lower exposure. All right. The win rate was 85.38%. And if you ask anybody in the chat that has the special settings that everybody has figured out, which are somewhat close to what the EA is running as far as the time frame and things of that nature, those guys are winning 80 to 90 or more % of the time of their trades. Don't believe me? You can go check the group out for yourself. So that is gold for red light, green light. So as you can see here, stocks, indices, gold, oil, 4 different assets. You'll be able to manage your portfolio based on that. If you're younger and want to be a little more exposed, you may say, hey, I want more money exposed to indices and gold. And if you're a little older and you want to preserve capital, you may say, hey, I want to stick with the stocks. They're stable, less drawdown. I need less capital. All right. That's the route you go. So now you can actually start to build a portfolio, and we'll start to talk about portfolio mixes and and how to mix your portfolio and kind of what that looks like. All right. So last but not least is the bonus. All right. A lot of you guys have asked me, I've seen the software is passing multiple FTMO challenges. I can tell you red light, green light has now passed 2 FTMO challenges. The last one it passed this week in a matter of 10 hours. From when market opened to 10 hours later, it passed an FTMO trial trading gold, oil, and NAS 100. So the first one we'll talk about is, you guys know or don't know, I trade on a $200,000 funded account. On my $200,000 funded account with my Forex funds, I wanted to know, is there a specific setting, all right, that can pass the challenge for me? And so work together. And again, a lot of this would be possible. I want to give a shout out and everybody drop in the chat. DTG, Dasan the GOAT. Dasan, as you guys know, is the developer of Variable. He has been working closely with me on the back testing and the optimization aspects of my softwares to make sure we had the most profitable settings. And so we wouldn't be here with these great strategies, these great settings, if it wasn't for Dasan. All right. Yes, I put in the work to create the strategy, but he has helped to optimize it in a way that will make you, happy and excited. So, hey, drop some love in the chat, DTG for Dasan. If you guys ever talk to him or see him and you've made money with one of these softwares, hey, give him a shout out. He's a man. But what we wanted, we were playing around with how to consistently pass funded challenges. And so we found a setting. Here's a setting. This is DAX, running a $200,000 account with DAX with a 0.12 lot size. So that's a $1.20 lot size. All right. And we were able to pass the challenge in 30 days. So the last 30 days, so pretty much the month of March, there was an absolute drawdown of $374. Max drawdown was $6,800, or 3.11%. As you guys know, you only need 5% to pass. And the profit was 21,461%. You only need 8% to pass. It did over 10.5%. All right. And you can see the win rate was what? 64.29%. But guess what? Remember, guys, the win rate for the first 3 months of the year was 54%. So as you see, the settings that we have optimized, all right, get better. They're better the closer we are to current date. All right. The first 3 months of the year, the win rate was only 54.5%. Just last month alone, that setting had a 64% win rate. So it's all about ensuring that the win rate is the best, has the best optimized settings for now, and not for 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years ago, because the market changes and has been changing significantly over time. So this setting right here alone and this result showed me the power of how, his approach to optimization. And again, this is the setting I'm running on my funded account myself. And again, that's how I know there were 3 wins and 1 loss, because I have 3 wins and 1 loss with the software as of market open on Sunday. All right. And then, of course, as you guys already know, we talked about it. Here are the results of the first time red light, green light officially passed FTMO. The only thing that didn't pass, of course, was the minimum trading days, but everything else passed. The minimum trading days is minuscule. You just got to trade for, make a small trade for the next 3 days, and you are fully, you fully get funded for this account. So these settings will not roll out right away. I am going to put them to the test. Yes, I know you're probably disappointed, but let me explain. Again, it's putting your capital, making sure it's protected. I'm going to invest the money to put the software on, and I have to see a few things. Number one, I'm going to go and put the software on 10 different trials. All right. FTMO, my Forex funds, a couple others. 70% of the time or more, I need to see the software not only pass phase 1, but also pass phase 2 and make a withdrawal. If the software can pass phase 1, 2, and get fully funded and make a withdrawal, that is the consistency we need before then the software then can be turned over to the public. Because if it passes once and then you get the software and it can't pass again, what's the point? All right. So it's all about ensuring that the settings are there. So this setting will not be available. You guys will see it. There will be 3 types of settings in your risk: conservative, moderate, and aggressive. And then once we have found that optimal setting for the actual funded accounts, it will be added. All right. And once that's added, there will be a 4th option, which will be called the prop firm account. All right. So again, I'm going to spend the money up front to make sure that this software, both, which we already know it can do. I mean, red light, green light's passed FTMO twice now. We're going to make sure that it can pass, get funded, and make a withdrawal. All right. Once it can do that 7 out of 10 times, then that setting will be added, and it will be optimized every quarter as well to ensure that you have the best chance of staying, passing the challenge and staying current with that challenge and not blowing your account. All right. Again, past performance is not indicative of future results, but the goal is to get there. All right.
I do need to read you guys this income disclosure because we haven't read it yet, so it needs to be read. Trading or using any Forex analyst tools and software to assist you in trading carries a high level of risk. Only trade with capital you can afford to lose. The information contained in this presentation is for informational purposes only. One should evaluate their risk tolerance and personal financial situation before trading. If ever in doubt, please consult your own personal licensed financial advisor. Avoria Prime LLC is not providing investment advice, as all trade opportunity alerts are delivered to all participants uniformly without regard to an individual's trade objectives, financial condition, or suitability, unless a user has made their own customized alert options privately on their own account to further analyze their manual trade opportunities. These options are at full discretion of the user, and Avoria Prime LLC does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, if you guys are excited to be able to get these products in the month of May, let's throw some more 777s in the chat. Is everyone excited? I see the 7s. People are excited, Nate. You got everybody on this call fired up, and I think that you just launched a rocket ship. So don't ask what seat you're on. Just buckle in. We're going to the moon, right, baby? But Nate, thank you so much for your time, your energy, and being such an amazing contributor to this marketplace, really leading the way. You have multiple products here now, and the future is extremely bright for you and every single person that's following Mr. Nathan Williams. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and